Cheers, David.
Cheers, Joan.
Here's to two of your favorite things, talking about movies and enjoying a nice cocktail while doing it.
Which is all I've ever wanted to do with my life.
Welcome to Klyler's Critiques with Joan and David. I'm Joan Quinn Eastman, and this is his gray eminence of independent film, Mr. David Klyler. Boyhood. Let's talk about Boyhood. Here is a movie that you sit on the edge of your seat anticipating the worst. We are so conditioned by Hollywood movies for disasters and catastrophes and tragedies to happen one after another. And when along comes an amazing piece of work like Boyhood, and you just keep waiting for something terrible to happen. And the great thing is it doesn't. That's what I love about it.
That's a good way of saying it. What I like about the film, it is my candidate for the best film of the past year. And it is, from a director standpoint, there's not one shot in the entire film where the protagonist, the kid, isn't present. So when you get some great scenes, like you have him going by on his bicycle, when he looks in the family garage and Patricia Arquette's crying on the floor, that kind of thing, and you don't realize her husband's been abusing her. You don't get that. You don't get the big melodramatic scene.
Right.
And here you have this kid, it doesn't make and we don't find out until you jump to a year later, apart from just the ingenuity of even thinking about a film that spans 16 years, and it's actually filmed over the 16 years, or 12 years, or whatever it is, over 13. Making a film with that kind of concept is amazing in and of itself, and that it is seamless that way, so that anybody who knows what it's like to grow up, and we all do, whether male or female, there's a lot to relate to. And we do see things that we don't fully understand, and we feel things. There's a lot of bullying in the film. I think most people, whether they were bullied or bullies, they all feel that they had some place they were abused during their growing up period. And this film captures that in a way that no other film ever has.
Patricia Arquette's performance was amazing.
I'm glad she got nominated.
Yeah, it was very tender and very real, wasn't it, David? It
Yes.
was just so genuine. And my favorite scene in the whole film is basically the climactic scene, if you will. There wasn't really any big climax in the
No.
movie because nothing really happens. It's all just suggested. But in the saddest scene in the movie is what it's being called, is where Patricia Arquette is saying goodbye to her son. He's going off to college, and she just has this revelation, and it's extraordinary. She goes down this whole litany of things that have been of great concern to her in her life, and at the end of it, through tears, she finally just says, "I just thought there would be more." She jumps from her son going to college. It's all over now. My funeral's going to be next. And the son just very level-headedly says, "Mom, didn't you just skip 40 years there?" She goes, "But I just thought there would be more." And I think that a lot of the people of our generation, the baby boomers, have reached that point in their life where you just stop and you say, "I just thought there would be more." And there really is a lot more to be seen and understood and experienced in Boyhood. And I'm with you. I think it should get Best Picture.
And her performance, here she is. You see her. We all know Patricia Arquette. You see her in the scenes. Wait a minute, I know Patricia Arquette. She's not that. What happened? Did she lose her weight? And then you realize she started shooting this thing a dozen years before, and she has allowed herself to get a little more middle-age spread and
Right.
things like that.
Right.
And so it gets herself to be seen. And even though that opening scene, when you first see her, like, wow, she's still a babe, and yet she gets matronly as the film progresses. It's so wonderful, the degree of openness with the film. And of course, the writing of the film was pretty much of a collaborative effort. It wasn't all pre-planned.
Right.
He talked with the characters about it. And like with most of his films, there's a naturalness. I mean, I'm a big fan of his three before films: Before Midnight, Before Sunrise, Before whatever, Before Sunset.
Linklater, who you know.
Yeah,
You've met him.
And I ran a theater where I premiered his first film, Slacker, which again was a unique experiment in filmmaking, and had the great good fortune of hanging out with him for 4 days. And so he's really, more than any other director, kept a true independent path in his filmmaking. And that he's pulled it off to acclaim from all over the place, not with just people who are independent film freaks like me, but he's reaching a broader audience than he's ever reached with any of his films, and I'm really glad for him.
There's another really important statement that happens in this film. Because it was shot over that period of time where technology has exploded, there's a really powerful scene with the star, and he's with his girlfriend, and she's on her phone texting, and he comments that, "You've got to be present." I mean, it was
Oh, that's right.
so powerful coming from a young man to be saying to another young person, "Why are you interacting with technology instead of with me?" Which is a serious problem in our society these days. We are interacting more with technology than we are with one another. In fact, I think human beings prefer to interact with technology. I think I'm going to write a column about how the internet turned me into an introvert. If you can believe it. I mean, it seriously has, because like you said, whenever you want to know something, you just Google it. Whenever you want to email, you send it. How's somebody doing? You check them on Facebook. It's just so much easier and so much more convenient to just stay in your own little cave with technology. So I'm glad that you haven't caught on with technology, David. You keep it real.
I'm a Luddite, and I am. I'm totally. I return my voicemails before I even look at my emails, and so I want to hear the human voice and the nuances in it. And and since you do voiceover work, I just love the tonal range. I've known you for over 20 years, and I couldn't tell in an email if you were upset about something.
Right.
I can tell it in a voice.
There
So
you
what's
go.
wrong, Joan?
There you go.
And
So
it's
to
the
wrap it
human
up,
contact.
with Boyhood, again, a very, very impactful film in a really quiet, genuine way, in a way that people living normal lives can really relate to, and a lot of great messages and tender moments in that film. So it'll be interesting to see if it wins.
It's Boyhood versus Birdman, it looks like.
David, as always, this has been fantastic. I love talking movies with you. I look forward to continuing the conversation.